Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And this is something interesting. Is the word I want to use. Yeah. Basically, this is this is what if Deku was a reptile, part 1. And if you don't know who Reptile is a character from Mortal Kombat. And the reason I came up with this idea is because one, I wanted to do a what if with some character from some character from Mortal Kombat, and I just chose Reptile because Reptile was well is one of my favorite Mortal Kombat characters, to be honest. Like, I'm pretty sure he was one of my first ones that I've was introduced to. So yeah, that's about how I came up with this idea. So without further ado, let's get into it. Man. Ugh, I'm off my A game today, guys. I don't know why. But, yeah, let's get into it. When Deku's born, he's pretty normal. But as he grew up, he started growing scales, claws, a tail, fangs. Kind of looking like the picture. Like, he got scales, but they're not, like, out of hand. This isn't like Mortal Kombat X, this isn't like MK10, a reptile where he's a freaking lizard. This is like, this is like Mortal Kombat 2 leading into 3. So he's still like human-ish, but he's still got the reptile aspects. And he has the ability, not only with the claws and scales and stuff, and the scales are so strong, like bullets deflect off of him, like he's bulletproof. And not only that, but he can produce. He can spit acid. He can also like make these like acid balls. Like he can. Yeah, I think that's what these are. He can also turn invisible. Camouflage man. It's crazy. And his quirk is legit named Reptile. One, for polite, and two, I can't really think of a better name for it right now. So when Deku is growing up, he is bullied for, having scales and a tail and fangs and spitting acid. People call him a monster, a freak, an animal, blah 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 blah, all this stuff. But anytime someone would try to like hurt him, nah man, we ain't having that. But also with his parents, uh, in this one, Inko is not best mom. Like original Inko is best mom, like best anime mom of all time. But this one, Zuku Deku. Deku has been abused from the age of him becoming scaled, with a tail, with fangs. He was abused, bullied for most of his bloody life. But that will of becoming a hero is that light that shined in the darkness for him. That was his light, his hope to become a hero, and that was the only thing he was holding on to. And anytime someone would like in school, people who like actually tried to bully him, as in physically beat him up, that wouldn't work. Like in Deku's very spare time, like he tries to avoid going home anytime that he can. So like so he has like self-taught himself how to fight, like kickboxing, ninjutsu, what's another fighting style? Karate. Basically, yeah, that stuff. Judo, that's another one. And let's say, like, when he like let's say his mom was like sleeping in like the middle of the night. Deku's up at night and he's scrolling through locations that he can find to get away from his parent parents, and I'm putting parent in quotes, more like abuser, but whatever. And he's scrolling through this, and he says, sees Dagobah Beach. He looks it up. He's like, that's interesting. And then, at middle school the next day, they try, like, after school the next day, like, Bakugo and his goons try to, beat up Deku. That doesn't work. Deku folds him, and the ones that actually try to get a hit into him, it's like punching freaking concrete. That's how strong his scales are. Like, he probably broke some of their arms, and then Bakugo tries to explode him. Nah, Deku just blocks that thing and spits acid at him. And it almost hits him. It almost hits him. Like, Bakugo got like third-degree burns from this stuff. And then Deku turns invisible. Like, he uses camouflage and then runs up the wall of the alley that they're in onto the roof and runs away. And he makes it to Dagobah Beach, and he sees that this entire thing's like covered in trash. So he's like, why not clean it up? Because one, it'd be helping out with the community and the environment, and two, great training to trademark work. And then that fateful day happens. Last day of middle school. You know how it be. Teacher walks in with the papers, blah, 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 blah. We all know what it is. The teacher says, what do you kids want to be when you graduate? There's the papers, I all knew you guys want to be heroes, blah, 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 blah. Goes through the list, sees that 2 kids from this class went on to try out for the UA exam. Bakugo stands up angrily. 2? And he yells. And then the teacher reads out the list, Katsuki, Bakugo, and Izuku Midoriya. And everyone turns around to laugh at Deku, but nah, he ain't having that. Deku, he kind of reaches his hands up, and it starts to glow green. But it's sort of like what the picture looks like. Like, that's kind of what Deku looks like he's doing. Looking like he's about to Falcon punch some dude. So they kind of pipe down. Then after school, like, he's trying to avoid going to his house at any cost because he really does not want to deal with his mother right now. So he kind of goes to Dagobah Beach. And while he's there, on his way to Dagobah Beach, let's say he takes a shortcut through a tunnel. I don't know what that was. Yeah, let's say he takes a shortcut through a tunnel, and he almost gets jumped by the sludge villain, but Deku notices him before he gets jumped on by the thing. He dodges, and yeah, he might be made out of sludge, but even sludge can burn. And Deku spits acid at him, and the sludge villain starts to burn. Then Deku's hands start to glow green, and he forms like this kind of acid ball looking thing, and he launches it at the sludge villain, and it goes through the thing, and it just starts to burn, and he keeps launching these things at him. He can clearly see, like, he's not dumb, like, he's great at military and combat strategy. He's also smart in general, because he's a flippin' ninja. That's the best excuse I could come up with. And the sludge villain's kind of contained by like a circle of acid. So like, the sludge villain's just like there, and if he moves, he gets burned. All White shows up, and he just sees the sludge villain completely. Like, the sludge villain was forced into one of the plastic bottles by Deku using his acid. And Deku sees All Might. He hands All Might the sludge villain, which is in the bottle. And before All Might could get a word out, Deku turns on its camouflage and runs away to Dagobah Beach. And basically for the 10 months of training, and All Might's like, man, I didn't even get the kid's name. But if he's wanting to be a hero, he's probably going to be at the entrance exam for UA. And, what's it called? Well, when Deku gets to Dagobah Beach, he starts tearing the trash apart. He starts melting it with his acid. He starts throwing acid balls, bombs, whatever you want to call them, at the piles of trash, and it slowly melts. And after the 10 month, like throughout the 10 months, his acid has gotten able to burn through stuff quicker and like denser things. Like his acid before the 10 months of training could probably burn through about like an inch of something, like something an inch thick. That thing, his acid could burn through. But now, after, like, during the 10 months of training, him training is like how his acid and his claws, him just, like, working on his stealth techniques and stuff. Because his stealth techniques and stuff. And where his acid is trained, it can burn through a foot, like a foot to like 8 feet. Like, this acid can burn through like an 8-inch iron door, like an 8-inch thick iron door. That's how like good his acid is right now. And he's also like worked on stealth with his camouflage and yeah, like camouflage. He's worked with his combat, like fighting style as a whole. And Deku's kind of been, like, once he, like, Deku has cleaned up, like, the trash on Dagobah Beach, so there's no more trash there. So what he kind of does one day when he is forced to, like, at nighttime, he kind of packs a bag. He kind of gets a sleeping bag, a tent, clothes, basically essentials, some food, some water, his phone, basically the essentials. He throws it all into, he wraps it all up into a backpack, and he jumps out of his window. And plus he has enhanced endurance, so he and acrobatics, so he can jump out of a 3-story window, and 1, survive it, 2, land it, and 3, like, he also has like superhuman speed, strength, and endurance. So he made it to Dagobah Beach in a few minutes, like a minute or two, and he kind of just camps out at Dagobah Beach now, like nowadays. And 10 months training's over. Entrance exam. Deku is walking up to UA, and he kind of has a hoodie on, like a hoodie to kind of hide his skin, and he kind of hid his tail, because he really doesn't want to be like looked at. Like, he doesn't want to be like everyone looking at him in a freaking crowd because he's a freaking lizard. So the what's it called? The written exam, Deku aces it. And the robots, the what's it called? The physical exam? I think that's what it's called. Physical part of the entrance exam. It's about to start. Deku cracks his neck. I couldn't crack it because I already cracked my neck. But he's getting ready. He's stretching. And he starts walking. He starts walking up to the front gate because he feels like if he get, like, the faster he can, like, the faster he can get to the robots before anyone else is the best thing he could do. And the president, he gets tapped on the shoulder by Ida that he's going to disturb some students. He's like, Deku looks back and just hisses at him, and Deku and what's his face, Ida backs off. President Mike, he starts the countdown. 3, 2, 1, gates open, and Deku runs off. But that's gonna be where in this part of, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Peace.